Good morning and welcome to the Connections Community Church Post Show. It's a mouthful all the time.
Only for some.
Well, great to have you with us. Thanks for joining us online. Met here with Layla, not Leslie, Matt, and Andy.
That was the first time.
It's like I could have sworn, but Leslie Nope was on the brain.
Yep.
Just amazing. So it's a huge compliment.
I 100% agree.
How you guys doing this morning?
Good.
Only had 2 cups of coffee. I need more.
Need more.
Yes.
Okay. I haven't even had one. I
Well,
mean,
I'm
I
doing
had
great.
some coffee, but
I don't drink coffee, so I'm
we
doing
know.
fantastic.
we know
Yeah.
you remind us often.
Yeah.
Well, you guys often remind me that you drink coffee, so I
Well,
have
I'm
to
just asking
counteract
how
it
it's
with.
going.
It's going great.
How many glasses of water have you had today?
Way too
Andy?
many. I have to go to the bathroom.
Hydrated.
Actually, I'll be right back.
Speaking of, no, it's awesome to be with you guys this morning. It's been a few weeks since I've been on post show.
Yeah.
I love doing this, but how was the sermon for you guys? What were some big takeaways for you? Talking about unshakable faith, culture of compromise through the lens of the book of Daniel.
Go ahead. I saw you had your notes. I was like, I see you flipping.
No. I really like today's message. I think Pastor Perry did a really great job walking through those chapters throughout Daniel, or at least chapter 1. I think that's where we hung out most of the time. But I think the biggest takeaway is just the reminder that, I think he noticed something along the lines of like the enemy is always going to try to attack us and, attack our identities. And it just makes me think about how often I have not so great moments and my brain doesn't think about like, oh, the devil's attacking me. Like I don't know, because I'm in a very weak state, right? Where I'm like super hard on myself, or my judgment is clouded. So yeah, I mean, that hit home for me today of like, it's not a fault of myself per se. It's the enemy, and he's extremely powerful, and that's there all the time. It's something that we're battling every day, every second, right? I think.
Yeah.
And I just think it's really easy to forget that that's there.
Yeah. First Peter says that the enemy is like roaming around like a prowling lion, seeking whom he may devour. And I mean, that's what we see right there. And in the moments that we have, like we can always struggle and be fearful. And I mean, it's just this greater sense of being on guard and being ready, being prepared for those attacks, because, we can do that. And it's part of learning. It's part of like our trauma thing. And like, we were kind of making jokes about being in therapy earlier. And like, we laugh about it because sometimes you just have to. You just have to laugh about some of the serious things. But it's so important for us to reshape our brains. I mean, don't conform your mind to this world, but transform your mind. I mean, scripture's coming out today, guys. There's a lot of these things that we got to be mindful of. And I mean, not take anything for granted.
Yeah. I think it's really, really helpful to remember too, that like, we're not asked to not struggle and be faithful. We're allowed to struggle, but also be faithful. Just keep yourself from beating yourself up, because like very obviously Daniel struggled his entire life, like until he died. Oh man, but he was always faithful too.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think one of the big keys for me is it's so easy for even myself to compromise, because it's like, oh, if I'm like super nice or not like call somebody necessarily out on something they're saying or doing is harmful to themselves or not godly, then for me, I'm like, well, if I say something, then that might push them away. And then I won't eventually get to talk to them about what Jesus does. So that's what I kind of wrestle with, and what hit me the most with Perry's message was, yes, we live in a world of compromise, in a world that looks at biblical things differently now. And it's just so easy to not want to upset somebody because you want to tell them about Jesus, but sometimes telling them is the most important thing, is just cutting right to the chase and being like, somebody asks, why am I so nice? Or why am I so positive all the time? I get that all the time. And it's a super easy thing for me to just say, well, the world's so full of negativity. Or I can go, well, because I've got Jesus. So there's really nothing for me to be super upset about. So things like that I in turn struggle with, because it's like, it's easy to compromise because you don't want to risk not being able to share Jesus. But then sometimes you just don't, because you're just too busy being nice and compromising. And I don't want to upset them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that Perry had referred to our culture as a culture of compromise, because we do have to wrestle with that. Yeah. You know, the idea of offense, the idea of being intolerant, if that's what you want to call it. You know, if you're not tolerant, then you are intolerant. You know, kind of this whole like you're a bigot if you don't agree with everything that I say or think or whatever. That's something we have to be mindful of constantly.
Yep.
And when I was getting ready to go to Germany, we'd gone through a training that kind of put different countries on a scale of like indirect to direct. And like there was another vertical aspect to it, but I can't remember what that was. And it was funny because the US was like almost all the way to the right. It was kind of like left side center, which was closer to indirect and like unoffensive, basically like trying to keep the status quo at all points. Sure. And it was like British and Canadian were like all the way to the left. But then where I was going was Germany. And it was like almost all the way to the right. Like you are fully direct. Like you don't mess up. And if you did anything wrong while we were in Germany, you were called out on it. Like they don't care about your feelings. Yeah. You need to know what the expectation is and how it is. And we don't get the, I guess, privilege or benefit of living in a culture like that, where it is expected that you will be called out. It's more an expectation that you just go along with it. Like, let me do me. I mean, that's one of our,
you do you,
you do you, right? It is what it is. You know, like all of these little sayings that we have that kind of point to, I have my life, you have yours, stay out of my business. And that's very difficult because we have to then let our life speak, where they ask like, dude, why are you so happy all the time? Like what is different about you? Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about the way that our culture is and how we should be able to interact with other people?
Man, I think you just hit the nail on the head. It's so difficult because we're in a place now. I heard somebody once say, we used to be more in the middle, and it would take a lot to draw people to one side or the other. Yeah. Now it seems like everybody's either picked one side, and those of us that try to go in the middle, you have to fight and claw to get people to even join you nowadays. So it's like, do you, and people are just so easily offense. And unfortunately, and I don't want to come off as somebody who tries to offend people, but there's just unfortunately a culture of, we have gone too far to saying you can, whatever you need to do, you do you, it doesn't matter, when really it does matter. And there's a way to do it. And Perry talked about that. Daniel did these things. He did not compromise, but he did not also sacrifice his love too. He showed love to those people without compromising. We can do the same thing. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people, even myself at times, are a little nervous to do that because of the stigma that goes around with faith and things like that nowadays. It's like, oh, you guys just are very closed-minded. You think everybody else is wrong. You think everybody's going to hell. And I'm like, okay, you threw a lot at me there. Right. I didn't say any of that, but they don't give you a chance to really explain it and really hear your side of things, and also go like, I'm just saying this because I care for you. And I want you to have the ability to, because you can put anything you want in there. It's not going to fill you up. Like one thing I know will, and that's Jesus. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's annoying. Like, just like, it's annoying watching, people think they're doing something by posting online.
Yeah.
Like, isn't the worst thing when they go, I just did a thing. I was like, oh, if I hear that one, if I ever say that, I hope you guys walk me into traffic and let a car hit.
Noted.
Matt's like waiting. He said he did a thing.
It's I mean, I say annoying. It's really sad. People are fighting for their cause when they could just talk to someone like a normal human, and
Yeah.
like the conversation might go well and you might be friends afterward and you might come to an understanding, but it's almost like they know their lines, so they just post their lines. And if you don't agree with their lines, then screw you. Which is really sad, just because like everybody's fallen for their side's sales pitch so hard that they're willing to just fight and do what they're told for their side, which is unintelligent. Like, have some thought. And that's really insensitive, but I think it's very true. Unfortunately, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, we can very easily be polarized. And I mean, we have a name for that, keyboard warriors, where we get to hide behind this screen. It's this facade for sure, where we get to say our thing and still be fully protected.
Yep.
I mean, our mind is not, our heart is not, but I mean, I don't ever have to see this person again. You know, they might be like anonymous user 123.
Right.
And then I get to hide behind my screen name or whatever it is. And we get to have this argument with no real consequences.
Updates all social media to anonymous user 123.
It's the first name that came to mind.
I like it.
But we get to do that. And then you don't have to put thought behind it. You don't have to put anything at risk.
Or care.
And,
like you said, because you're just throwing things out there. Yeah.
If I put my care into it, if I put my heart into it, if I put myself into it, then I am making myself vulnerable to hurt and to pain and to rejection. And it's so much easier to go out there and duke it out online. And it becomes this really unhealthy and like spiral of downward momentum. And we don't get to use that in order to express love, because it's easier to hate.
Yeah.
It's easier to be angry. It's easier to be rude. It's easier to be all of these things and like and insult somebody to their digital face.
I've had so many phone calls that have gone terribly for work, and then when I show up at their house, it's like a completely different person.
Yeah, because it's wild.
As soon as you're that person to person connection, even on a phone, there's, like you said, there's that safety net of I can say what I want because I don't have to worry about this person again. But no, I'm coming out tomorrow to look at your basement. So it's funny how different I've even seen it work out in, you know, life without even talking about these difficult conversations that we're having.
Yeah, sometimes. We get to see a person.
Yep.
We get to see their body language. You get to see that they're not coming after, they're not attacking me.
They also get to see that
emotion.
I'm coming from a place of trying to help. And unfortunately we lose so much in just texting that is just lost. And like, there's no subtlety when it comes to text. You can't look at it and go, oh, this person's really, really telling me this. Or this or that. And it's like, nope, unfortunately, no.
One thing in my life I feel very fortunate, and this is going to sound stupid for a second, very fortunate to be is like tall and imposing. Because if I do just go keyboard warrior, they know I'm tall and imposing, and I'm just this mean, angry, large figure. But all of my friends know that I'm not like that. I have the best friends. I rarely have to have conversations with them like, hey, I don't agree with this.
Right.
But they know I'll just come to them and that I'll lead with compassion and gentleness. So because I've had to learn, like if I just shoot off a text, okay, now I'm scary, you know?
Or if I didn't think about what I'm sending, I just send like a gut reaction. I think that's what 90% of this stuff is. It's like,
and if you think I'm not going to miss text or you're so wrong. I will. I guarantee.
He knows how many times do I edit something? I'm like, please don't respond, and then no respond. I'm like, dang it! I know I spelled it wrong. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Layla, what about you?
Yeah, I'm like a turtle. I just stay in my shell. I don't post anything outside of my kids.
Yeah. You're very, very proud.
I don't partake in, I read. Oh, I read the things. I'm all about like watching the juicy stuff. I'm all up in there like, oh, did you see what this so-and-so said? Anonymous 123. But no,
they're everywhere lately.
I know. Oh, yeah, I don't do that. It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But I definitely, like I said, I even though I don't post it, I read it, and I spend too much time sometimes like getting caught up in social media back and forth or whatnot, or even non-social media. Like, you know, it's not time well spent. Yeah, I don't talk to a lot of people about things like that. I like to keep cool, play it on the safe side.
Yeah.
And it's not always a good thing. So
there's always a challenge.
Don't recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, because like there are things that maybe sometimes we should interact to a degree.
Right.
But again, coming in love.
Yeah.
But it's not usually online.
Yeah. Yeah. I probably miss prime opportunities to share the word of God, and like I'm on the side of I'm too cautious, and I know that. But I'd rather I'd rather do that than get caught up in something where then I'm extremely uncomfortable. And like I did say something wrong. Like I overanalyze everything, and so I'm just like, me, turtle. I'm a turtle going in my shell. If you want to see me, come to my shell.
No, I'm just picturing the arms and the shell just kind of falling on the ground, you know, like hey, Layla, what do you think?
Yeah.
Oh man, having these conversations can be so much fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's really important for us always to remember that the relationship and our love for others comes first after our relationship with Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're not engaging with Jesus in the way that we need to, in the way that we are supposed to be relating to Jesus, then we're going to miss our opportunity to display him. Because if we're not spending time with him, we can't share him with other people.
Exactly.
And that becomes our number one focus, our number one priority. And when it's more about being right, we've lost the battle. That can never be the case. And so we always have to find and be intentional about the ways that we're going to engage with other people, learning that my relationship with Jesus is foundational.
Yep.
I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again. I know that I want to go somewhere else with what I'm saying, but hopefully you hear me. Hopefully you understand that this I guess rant now. But I want every person that comes in contact with me to know Matt's getting on worship team. So thanks for being with Matt. Spreading out.
Just kidding.
Lost my train of thought again. Holy cow, this is wild.
You're doing wonderful.
Well, this is a very deep subject that we have talked about multiple times when you're,
ad nauseum.
Yeah, but it's good. These are the kind of conversations we should be having. But I think the main thing is, like you said, never losing sight of, if you are spending all, like time with Jesus, it's so much easier to then share.
Yes.
When you're not with him, that's not your first initial instinct, because, or you're not like primed to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know glad I brought my interpreter with me.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like that Key and Peele sketch where he's like hyping up the man behind him. I was like, yeah, come to youth group. And you're just like, show up to youth group, kids.
Thank you. Yeah, it's got to be something that actually has a place in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
That relationship with Jesus has to have a place with us, because if it doesn't, people aren't going to see it.
Yep.
It's not going to be a priority. If it's not going to be a priority for us, it's certainly not going to be for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then for those of us that have kids, it's modeling that for them,
Yep.
so that they can continue to be, as the scriptures say, quivers in your arrow, or arrows in your quiver.
Yep.
So that they can be fired out and shot with purpose, and not just, scattered like dust in the wind and yeah. Kansas coming in here too. But it's one of those things that it really is a privilege for us to be able to love people in a way that's different from the world, to give life-giving love rather than self-fulfilling love.
Yes.
That temporary relationship that might come from, a fling or whatever else, like somebody's like, flash in the pan kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I would take somebody's love over just blind acceptance any day. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, it's like, oh, I see you. Cool. You do you. I'm like, well, don't you want to do life with me too? Like stuff like that. So yeah, it's like, that's what I try to think of when I go into things. And like you said, it's really easy to sometimes just take the easy route of not trying to offend anybody and just kind of, but we can still love without compromising our faith. I think that's the ultimate message that Perry was getting out today.
Yeah,
That's what,
absolutely.
That's what Daniel did. So
Yeah. Any last thoughts?
I think I just said it.
You just said yours. Cool.
Don't be a turtle.
Don't be a turtle. Engage with other people.
But turtles are
real
cool.
people.
Yeah, real people.
Atlas, my son's favorite animal, second favorite animal is a turtle. So not a bad one.
What's his first favorite?
Tiger.
Of course.
Ooh, we'll see that balances.
Yeah. Polar opposites.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us today. We love you. We're so glad that you are here with us. If you have the chance to come and join us in person, please do so. But if the only way that you're able to engage with us is online, we're so glad that you're able to be a part of this community. If you need any prayers or anything, please let us know. We're watching, we're listening, and we see you. If you ever have any questions or anything, there's a place that you can submit questions online. Feel free to do that, my3c.org. Can see and keep up with everything that's going on with us online. But remember, as much as we love you, Jesus loves you more. God bless and have a great week.